The transmission had arrived on a Tuesday morning, interrupting Leo's coffee break at the United Earth Defense Headquarters in Geneva. The holographic message flickered to life in the center of the command room, displaying a towering alien figure with crystalline skin that refracted light into rainbow patterns across its angular face. "Greetings, humans of Earth," the alien spoke in perfectly synthesized English. "I am Commander Jathik of the Caldronian Empire. We have observed your species for 3 of your solar cycles. Your capacity for combat is adequate. We require warriors for the grand arena, where civilizations prove their worth across the galaxy." Leo set down his mug, his dark eyes narrowing as he listened. Beside him, Bella leaned forward, her fingers already dancing across her datapad to record every detail of the message. "You will select your finest 100 fighters," Jathik continued. "They will represent Earth in trials of combat against champions from 47 other worlds. Refuse, and we will classify your planet as strategically insignificant, unworthy of protection under Caldronian law. You have 72 hours to comply." The transmission ended abruptly, leaving the command room in stunned silence. "They think we're going to send fighters to be their entertainment," Bella said, her voice tight with anger. She'd been analyzing xenological threats for 5 years, but this was unprecedented. It's gladiatorial slavery dressed up as an honor. Leo nodded slowly, his mind already working through scenarios. As Earth's chief tactical advisor, he'd spent his career preparing for first contact. Just not like this. "We don't have a choice," General Morrison said from across the room, his weathered face grim. "If we refuse, we lose any potential protection from other threats out there, but if we send our people to die for their amusement—" "Who said anything about dying?" Leo interrupted, a dangerous smile crossing his face. "Bella, pull up everything we have on human combat evolution compared to standard Earth fauna." 3 days later, the Caldronian ship descended over the Sahara Desert, its massive hull blotting out the sun. 100 humans stood waiting in perfect formation, each one selected not just for combat prowess, but for something the aliens wouldn't expect: adaptability. Bella stood among them, her military background making her an obvious choice. Leo had tried to keep her out of it, but she'd volunteered before he could object. Now he watched from the command center as the transport beam lifted Earth's representatives into the ship. The interior of the Caldronian vessel was vast and sterile, all smooth metal surfaces and harsh white light. Bella and the other humans were herded into a staging area where fighters from dozens of other worlds waited. She saw beings of every imaginable shape: 8-limbed creatures with exoskeletons, floating gas entities contained in force fields, massive bipeds covered in natural armor plating. What she didn't see was fear in any of their eyes when they looked at the humans. Curiosity, perhaps, dismissal, certainly, but not fear. "That would change." Commander Jathik appeared on an elevated platform, his crystalline form refracting the harsh lights into dazzling patterns. "Welcome, warriors. You fight not just for glory, but for your world standing in the galactic community. The trials will test strength, speed, cunning, and will. Losers will be recycled. Winners will bring honor to their species." The first trial began within the hour. It was simple, a race through an obstacle course filled with walls, pits, and automated weapons. The first 50 to finish would advance. Bella watched as the larger species charged forward, using brute strength to smash through obstacles. The faster ones darted between laser fire with supernatural agility. And the humans. They did something none of the other species expected. They cooperated. A human named Jackson boosted Bella over a wall. She dropped a rope down for 3 others. They formed a living bridge over a pit, each person trusting the next with their life. When automated turrets opened fire, they didn't scatter, they created a moving shield formation, protecting the wounded while advancing steadily. By the time 73 humans crossed the finish line, the aliens were murmuring in their various languages. The other species had sent their finest individual warriors. Earth had sent a team. Jathik's crystalline face flickered with what might have been confusion or respect, Bella couldn't tell. "Unusual tactics," he announced, "but effective. The trials continue." The second trial was pure combat, one-on-one matches in a hexagonal arena. Bella drew an opponent from Threxus Prime, a world known for producing the galaxy's most feared mercenaries. The creature stood 3 meters tall, covered in thick armor plates with 4 arms ending in serrated claws. She looked tiny in comparison, armed only with a standard-issue combat staff. The Threxian lunged with devastating speed, its claws whistling through the air where Bella's head had been a split second before. She rolled, struck at a joint, rolled again. The alien roared in frustration, unable to land a solid hit on the small, impossibly quick human. What the Threxian didn't understand was that Bella had spent thousands of hours training against simulation programs designed by Leo, programs that specifically accounted for the human advantage in endurance and pattern recognition. She wasn't trying to overpower her opponent. She was waiting for it to tire. 10 minutes into the match, the Threxian's movements became fractionally slower, its breathing labored. Bella had barely broken a sweat. She struck precisely at the same joint she'd targeted earlier, now weakened from repeated impacts. The armor plate cracked. The Threxian stumbled, and Bella swept its legs, bringing 3 meters of alien warrior crashing to the arena floor. The crowd of assembled fighters erupted in confusion. Humans weren't supposed to win against Threxians. Humans were soft, weak, from a death world that had barely achieved faster-than-light travel. But Bella stood victorious, and she wasn't alone. Across 12 arenas, humans were winning not through superior strength or speed, but through endurance, tactical thinking, and sheer stubborn refusal to quit. The trials continued for 6 days. Each challenge revealed another aspect of human evolution that the aliens had dismissed: persistence hunting tactics, ability to function on minimal sleep, rapid environmental adaptation, and most importantly, an almost pathological determination to survive against impossible odds. On the 7th day, Commander Jathic called a halt to the trials. Bella stood with the 47 remaining humans in the central arena. They'd lost 53 fighters, each lost a knife in her heart, but they'd also eliminated champions from 32 other worlds. The final standings showed Earth in 2nd place overall. "This is unprecedented," Jathic admitted, his voice carrying across the vast chamber. "Your species fights unlike any other. You are individually weaker than most, yet collectively formidable. You turn disadvantages into strategies. You refuse to accept defeat even when logic dictates surrender." He paused, and Bella could swear she saw something like concern flicker across his alien features. "The Caldronian Empire extends an offer. Join our military forces. Your tactical innovations would be invaluable. Your fighters would be well compensated, honored across the galaxy." Before Bella could respond, Leo's voice crackled through her earpiece. She'd kept the communication device hidden throughout the trials. "Tell him no." Bella smiled. She'd been hoping Leo would say that. "Commander Jathic," she called out, her voice steady and clear. "We appreciate the offer, but Earth has a counter-offer. You wanted to see our best fighters, and you have. Now you know what we're capable of when we're playing by your rules in your arenas with your weapons." She paused, letting the weight of her words settle. "Imagine what we'd be capable of if we were defending our home. If we had time to prepare. If you gave us a real reason to show you what humanity can do when we're truly threatened." The silence in the arena was absolute. "We don't want to be your entertainment or your mercenaries," Bella continued. "We want to be your equals. Establish diplomatic relations with Earth, trade with us, share knowledge, or leave us alone. Those are your options." "And if we choose to enforce our original demand?" Jathic asked, though his tone suggested he already knew the answer. "Then you'll learn why every predator on Earth evolved to fear humans," Bella replied. "We're not the strongest or the fastest, but we're the species that turned wolves into dogs, that crossed oceans on wooden boats, that split the atom and reached for the stars. We're the species that never, ever stops adapting." She gestured to the assembled human fighters, bloodied but unbroken. "You wanted our best fighters. This was us holding back. This was us following your rules. Do you really want to see what we're like when there are no rules?" Commander Jathic was silent for a long moment. Then, surprisingly, he began to laugh, a sound like wind chimes in a storm. "No," he said finally. "No, I do not. Very well, human Bella. Earth shall have its diplomatic recognition. We will speak as equals." He leaned forward, his crystalline eyes gleaming. "But know this, the galaxy will be watching. You have made quite an impression." As Bella and the other humans were transporting back to Earth, she finally allowed herself to relax. Through her earpiece, she heard Leo's voice, warm with relief and pride. "You did it, you magnificent, crazy human, you actually did it." Bella smiled, looking out at the stars rushing past the transport ship's viewport. "We did it, all of us. That's what they don't understand yet. Humans are stronger together." Back on Earth, celebrations would be erupting. Humanity had not only survived first contact, but had earned respect across the galaxy. The aliens had wanted Earth's best fighters, expecting simple warriors. Instead, they'd encountered humanity in all its stubborn, adaptive, cooperative glory. And they would never make the mistake of underestimating Earth again.